Are you still working out the way you did when you were 25, but this time in your 40s and beyond, you're not getting the same results anymore? In this video, I'll show you what actually works when you're over 40 so that you can start getting the results you want from your workouts. I'll also explain to you why calorie burning is different when you're over 40. Let's dive right in. There are three big things that you have to know and understand to know how to train smarter and not harder so that you get results that you really deserve. Number one, your hormones matter a lot more now than they did when you were 25. And your results no longer depend only on the amount of calories that you burned during your workouts. Your hormones matter just as much, if not more. And your hormones are strongly impacted by stress. As you get older and you get closer to perimenopause and then menopause, your body will produce more cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which does make things a little bit harder. So you have to be smart about not adding it where it's not necessary. There are many things that cause stress in our lives, of course. But what many women don't realize is that their workouts are also contributing to their elevated levels of cortisol. They're often choosing the workouts that show the highest calorie burn on their watch. And that usually means that they're choosing more cardio-based, cardio-oriented workouts or high-intensity classes. The piece they don't realize is that too much of those activities will actually increase cortisol. And if those workouts are long, then this cortisol, the stress, is going to be elevated for longer periods of time. Cortisol, of course, is a really important hormone. It helps us to get out of a stressful situation by increasing our blood pressure, by tensing up our muscles, which is all great when we are actually in a stressful situation. But if these levels stay elevated because we are just doing too long workouts, too long cardio, but the body doesn't know that you're not in danger, so it keeps the cortisol elevated just in case you are in trouble. And cortisol is associated with more belly fat gain anywhere in the body, but especially around the midsection. High levels of cortisol also contribute to water retention. So that's why you may feel puffy and your weight may go up even if you do a lot of those long cardio workouts that burn a lot of calories. The second thing to understand is that yes, energy expenditure does matter when it comes to workouts, but you can burn more energy by increasing your metabolic rate instead of doing more cardio. So how do we do it? Well, this is where weightlifting comes in. Weightlifting helps you to burn more energy, but you don't see it the way you might see it on the watch when you go for a run and your watch tells you you just burned 1,000 calories. It doesn't work the same way. When you lift weights, your muscles grow and your metabolic rate increases too, which means that when you have more lean mass, which is your muscle, your body is burning more calories even when you're resting. So you may not see it as directly on the watch in numbers, but it is happening. This is the difference between what's called manual calorie burning, where you do it by literally running or biking your calories off, and the calorie burning that happens as a byproduct of having higher muscle mass. That's also why people who have high muscle mass can, quote unquote, get away with eating more. They won't lose their gains when they have a weekend of less than great eating. Their muscles would just use this extra energy that they consume. Now compare that to somebody who doesn't have enough muscle mass and who relies on cardio for calorie burning. That person gains weight faster, and the only way to get it down is to work out hard again. And it becomes like a cycle. I ate too much, I have to burn it off. I ate too much, I have to burn it off again. It is not the same thing if you have a lot of muscle mass on your body, because high muscle mass burns calories on its own even when you are not working out, even when you are resting. But of course you have to build it. So this is not to say that you don't have to do anything. You have to build it, but you don't have to rely on this one thing which is continuously manually burning calories. So you should train smarter by lifting weights. Therefore, you're increasing your metabolic rate and you put on muscle, which also shapes your body. And speaking of shaping your body, most of my clients lift weights 2 to 3 days per week. They also walk and they get great results. Some of them are doing cardio, but just for fun. Maybe they go for a run once in a while or do bike rides if they really enjoy it. But that's because it's their own choice and not something that I actually asked them to do. Because if you want to change the shape of your body, which is a goal for many, many women, you don't have to do those things. You don't have to do long cardio. You have to lift weights though. So here's another difference between training in your 20s and in your 40s. If you're in your 40s and you don't give your muscles something to do, aka you don't lift weights, then you start losing this muscle mass. And that's the last thing you want to do. And guess what accelerates losing muscle mass? Eating less and less and less. You don't lose muscle as fast when you're in your mid-20s or even early 30s. As long as you're active, you're most likely maintaining it. But in your 40s and especially beyond, you have to work for it. And remember that weightlifting is the only thing that will shape your body. It is very helpful to eat a high-protein diet as well, which is another thing that many women could improve, eating more protein. But just eating more protein doesn't actually build muscle the way that weightlifting does. So you have to do both. If you like this video so far, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my next video. Okay, let's talk about practical things then. What does it look like to train smarter and not harder if you want to get results and you are in your 40s or beyond? You have to start doing strength training. And if you want to get a really good free resource, then I have it for you. And you can get it when you click the link in the show notes and in the description. If you're ready to take a bigger leap and apply for one-on-one coaching with me, you can absolutely do that. You'll find the application form in the description below as well. But if you want something real quick right now, before you download the free guide, here are the things that I want you to keep in mind. 3 very simple practical things that I want you to remember when you go to the gym next time. Number 1, be smart about your exercises. And here are 5 exercises I want you to do on a regular basis. They are squat, deadlift, row, overhead press, and bench press. Your focus should be on big movements that use most muscles. And these exercises that I just listed are the ones that do it. Yes, you can do modifications, you can do different variations, but these lifts will be your foundation. What doesn't work, and what I see oftentimes, is women going to the gym, spending 45 minutes to an hour on a treadmill or elliptical, and then doing maybe a couple of sets of biceps curls. This is not going to change the shape of your body. The second thing to know when you go to the gym next time is that you probably need to lift heavier than you currently do. And this is true for most women. You need to stimulate your muscles enough so that they hear this message loud and clear. We need to grow. If you use the same tiny weights month after month after month, you are not going to see the results that you want to see. The next thing, you need to rest between your sets. Yes, you do. If you put the weights down after your last rep and you're ready to move on to the next exercise without any break or only 15 seconds break, that's not the right thing to do. If you want to train smarter, not harder, then rest. Rest after your last rep. And if you feel like I don't need to rest, it just means that your weights were not heavy enough, you were not challenging yourself enough. Because after you finish your last repetition, you should feel like I really need to sit down for a minute and rest, and then you can go again. This is how you actually change your body composition. Try to take as much stress out of your workouts and from your life too, if possible. Yes, I know it's difficult to do, but I don't want you to stress yourself too much with the things that don't work, even though they may feel right to you. It may feel right to you to go to a 5 a.m. boot camp class after you got only 5 or 6 hours of sleep. But from the perspective of your body, your hormones, your nervous system, this is not a good choice. Again, you are training harder, not smarter by doing it. So it is so important that you actually rest. And the way you do your workouts, just slow down, take more breaks, go lift the weight, put it down, sit down and rest. Focus on the movement, focus on your form and technique. Do the work with intention and just forget about the calories. It's okay to not think about the calories. How many did this move burn or that move burn? You have to focus on strengthening your body. This is where your gains really come from. Want to get more tips? Then go ahead and watch the next video here on YouTube. See you soon.